What up? We back. Yo, straight into it. This is a Giants season preview. Anybody who knows me knows I'm the biggest Giants fan in the world. Like, not only are the Giants my favorite football team, but they're by far my favorite franchise in sports. So, as you can imagine, I take that very, very, very serious since I'm like the biggest sports head you'll ever meet, like all across the board. So, yeah, with that being said, coming off a season last year where we surprised a lot of people. I think Daniel Jones obviously took the first step. I'm gonna say the first step because I think he has a lot more growing to do, and I think this season we're gonna see a lot of his full capability. As I tap into the weapons that we've added on offense and so forth. Uh, Starting on the O line. Uh, Evan Neal going into his second year. I'm expecting very big improvement. As high as he went last year, of course, out of Alabama, I think he's gonna blossom into one of the best right tackles that you'll see in the league eventually. I don't know about this year if he'll be that, but I think he'll start making that trajectory upwards into that. We drafted John Michael Smits out of Minnesota. He should be our center. He should be our anchor. For hopefully 10 plus years on that line on that at center for Daniel Jones. So we should see improvement there. Left tackle, of course, we got Andrew Thomas, who's to me the best left tackle in the NFL. You'd be hard pressed to find a couple guys that are better than him in the league. Damn, can't talk today. Anyway, yeah, Andrew Thomas. I don't know at left guard. I don't know who'll be starting there. Um, we've been kind of a revolving door at the guard positions. We got Glowinski, we got Bredesen, we got Izudu. We have a lot of guys, vying for those left guard positions, man. So we'll see how that shakes out. But I think either way, with the guys that are already in place, I think our offensive line will be the best it's been in probably no exaggeration, probably about 10 years. Like we've had a rough go up front ever since Eli was still playing. Shout out to E Money, 2 Super Bowls. All you hating ass motherfuckers. He gonna be in the Hall of Fame in a couple more years. So y'all stay tuned for that. Anyway, back to the squad. We upgraded a lot in that receiving room, man. Adding Paris Campbell from the Colts. Of course, drafting Jayla Hyatt out of Tennessee in the third round, moving up to get him. That was a great move by Joe Shane to trade up and get him. I wanted him going into the draft. I actually wanted him in the second round, but lucky for us, he was still there and available at the third round. So, um, like I said, Paris Campbell, Jalen Hyatt. We added Darren Waller, who's probably the biggest pickup for us in the offseason. Like a mismatch. He's a nightmare. He's a nightmare matchup, man. You can't put linebackers on him, and the corners aren't going to be as physical as he is. In and out of breaks, a savage. You know what I mean? He's going to catch the ball. He's going to give Daniel Jones that outlet, man. If all else fails, go to Waller. You know what I mean? Slot guys, of course. Wandale is back this year. Um, Shep is back. I don't know if Shep will make the final 53 though. Because we got a lot of guys in that receiving room, man. Colin Johnson, we got Bryce Ford Wheaton, who's also nice. I think he'll end up on the practice squad though. Man, there's a lot of got Cole Beasley's there. Shit. There's a lot of guys, man. Of course, Darius Slayton, he's gonna be there. Isaiah Hodgins, those two are probably penciled in as the two starters going into the year. But we're going to see a lot of rotation with these receivers, man, especially in the slot. We have a lot of guys, who's going to play in that slot position and control those seams. So we'll see how that goes as far as the receivers. But it's a good problem to have as opposed to last year. We didn't have enough targets. So I'm looking forward to seeing how Dable implements all these weapons, him and Mike Kafka. I think they're going to do a great job. Of course, Saquon Barkley's back. after signing his tag with the incentive, tapped onto it. Unfortunately, he couldn't come to a deal, but maybe after this season, we'll see. We'll see, man. Hopefully, we can get that done because I think, even though a lot of people probably, were down on Saquon the year before, I was one of them. I wanted to see him stay healthy and produce because it had been a while. You know what I mean? So, but I would love to see him back. Beyond this year. So hopefully we can get that done. I still think he's an integral part of the offense, man. Um, what else we got? Yeah, I think as a whole, offensively, I think we have top 10, possibly top five potential on offense, man. And I don't think I'm being biased when I say that. When you look at the guys across the board, I think if our O line can be average to a little bit above average, man, we're gonna make a lot of plays, man, especially down the field. We added a lot of speed. I think that was a big point of emphasis for Shane coming into the year, as well as I think Brandon Brown. That was a big point of emphasis coming into this year, that we increased that speed overall as a team. We haven't had that in a while. And I think Kafka and Dable, man, the way they work together offensively is magic, man. I really do believe that. I think they're gonna make something special with this group of guys. So I'm looking forward to that. I think offensively we're gonna be great. So that's that. Defensively, this is gonna be interesting, man. We have a good mix of young guys and veterans, man. Like starting in the secondary, Trey Hawkins coming on in camp has been amazing. Like all reports and the couple preseason games I've watched, Trey Hawkins has been very, very good. And I believe we took him in the 6th round. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think it was the 6th round. Uh of course, we took Deontay Banks in the 1st round. I think he's gonna be a stud. Like, of course, at corner, you got to give these guys time. But I think those two guys, man, they have the opportunity to grow together, man. I think that's a good thing, especially when you're talking about, guys in the secondary. Having these guys, grow at the same rate, hopefully. Um, of course, Xavier McKinney is back. I think he's going to be the leader in the secondary, obviously. Julian Love left. I think he went to Seattle. We couldn't get a deal done with him, but it's okay. I think Pinnock will fortify that position. Um, Man, I think that secondary is going to be real interesting to see how these guys play together. I think this is Adoree Jackson's last year. I think he might be a free agent coming up, but Adoree he's also a nice playmaker. I like Adoree. I like him since we got him. So glad to have him back. Hopefully he can stay healthy this year. He had a little injury last year on the punt return. Linebacker, we've upgraded Bobby Okereke from Indianapolis. We got 2 guys from Indianapolis this year that I'm expecting to play big roles for us, especially Okereke, man. I think he's gonna hold down that position, man. He's gonna give us a reliable linebacker, something we haven't had in a while. Uh, of course, Kayvon Thibodeau going into year 2. I'm most excited to see him. I think out of everybody on the team, I think he's gonna have a big leap forward. I want to see a double-digit sack year out of Kayvon Thibodeau. I don't think that's asking too much for as high as he was drafted in his potential and his talent level. I think it all mandates that he gets, at least in the double digits of sacks. Azeez Ojulari, of course, I love Azeez Ojulari. As long as he can stay on the field, he has been ravaged with fucking injuries since he's been in New York. And I think if he can overcome that, we'll see a good season out of him too, man, rushing the passer. So got those guys, of course. We added Nacho in the offseason on the D line, you know, rotating them in with Dexter Lawrence, of course, the all pro, who should probably more than likely have another all pro season this year. Knock on wood, no injuries. Leonard Williams is a stud too. I like Leonard Williams. He always stays relatively healthy. I think he missed a couple games last year, but for for the most part, Leonard Williams, big cat. He's normally healthy, so I'm looking forward to a good year out of him. Man, I think what else, man? I just think as a whole, the defense should be very, very good, man. I think with the extra year of Joe Shane getting guys in that could fit Wink Martindale's system and what he wants to do, I think that's going to pay huge dividends for the coordinator, man. I think Wink is starting to get his guys in there. He's going to be able to do more things that he likes to do. Of course, he's very blitz heavy. He likes to play a lot of man on the outside. Um, likes to play on the ball. So yeah, man, we'll see. I think we're gonna have a very good season. A lot of people aren't expecting much out of us, and I think that's crazy. Coming off the season that we just came off of, like we weren't near as talented last year as we are this year, and we made the playoffs and actually won a playoff game in Minnesota on the road. So I don't get why people are so down on us. I don't understand that. I think we improved drastically on paper, but that's why they play the games. I think we improved a lot, like I said. So I'm guessing I'm gonna put this on video right now. I think we're gonna finish 12-5. And I know we have a hard schedule, especially like the beginning, like 4 out of our first 5 games are like a gauntlet. But I think if we could get that first win in Dallas week 1, we're gonna be fine. 12-5. And I do like these previews where I pick the division winner of every division and I pick the wild cards and all that shit. And I pick, the conference championship, Super Bowl, all the awards for the players individually. I'll do all that shit. And this is the first year in my picks in about 13 years where I've picked the Giants to win the Super Bowl. It's gonna sound biased coming from me, obviously a diehard, knockdown, drag out Giants fan, but I feel it, man. Like this is, of course, barring health. This is the most talent we've had on our roster in a very long time. And I know we play in a division with Philly, who's also a fucking a juggernaut, and Dallas has been pretty consistent. I hate them. God damn. Philly and Dallas. I hate both of those teams. Like that just comes, with the territory of being a Giants fan. Like since I was fucking probably before I could walk, I've hated those two teams. Washington, I never really cared about them. We I don't want to say we own them, but like going into them games, I'm never stressed. Like I feel like we should beat them the majority of the time, and which we do. But yeah, man, being in this tough division with Dallas and Philly, like it's always we kind of beat up on each other. Well, lately we've been the ones getting beat up on, but I think this is the year, man. Like I've been waiting. Even last year, we lost. I think we lost. We got swept by Bo, and I'm sick of that shit. Like I think this is the year that stops because we're building something very special, man. Like we're gonna be good for the foreseeable future. Um, Management makes all the difference in the world. Coaching makes all the difference in the world. It's been night and day since these guys have been here, and this is going into the second year. Actually, this is the first year of them having, their own scouts, putting all their people in the scouting department and allocating those positions to the guys that they want to see do it. So yeah, man, like I think, even if we didn't win this year, we're gonna be contenders for a while. And last year was just the start of that. So with that being said, 12-5, and I'm picking us to win the big one, man. Call me biased or whatever. Like I think we have the pieces to win it, man. It's just about the execution, man. And of course, every team that makes a deep run in the playoffs like that in the Super Bowl run, there's certain plays where luck is on your side as well. Like that applies to every team that's ever won. So, catching a break here and there, and it's just about execution, man, and not making mistakes. You know what I mean? I think if we could limit that, we're good, man. And like I said at the beginning of the video, shout out to Daniel Jones, man. Like a lot of motherfuckers hate on Daniel Jones, but I think this is gonna be the year. I think this is gonna be the year where y'all see Daniel Jones. Yeah, it's gonna be like that. Like I'm predicting 30 plus touchdowns, somewhere between 8 and 13 picks, somewhere between there, 8 and 13 picks. 68, 69% completion percentage. Uh yeah, man. I think DJ gonna be special, man. He definitely gonna have over 500 rushing yards. I think he had like 700 something last year. So he'll definitely be over 500 rushing yards easily. And yeah, Super Bowl, man. Let's fucking go, man. Giant shit. Got something to say? Holla at me. You heard? We out.